This is Dave Brixius. I'm here with Ed O'Brien, and we're here to talk about the program. All right? And one of the big things that we're going to change up this year. I know we did last year. We got it rolling. We really focused on a lot of high school stuff, certain individuals that we talked about. This year, we also want to get in with the CFA. That's where a lot of the kids who are playing high school ball right now, they went through this organization. I know it was 2 at one point. They merged last year really to form a massive conference. 30 teams. Some other teams actually from some of the other leagues actually came in also this year to really bump it up and make it really a power conference where they split it up into 3 divisions. And it's just a great thing to see. You love to see those young kids out there, getting out there, getting at it. When a lot of people think that youth football is really on the decline because of all the concussions going on, it's great to see how many kids are still playing. You look at some of these programs out there. We were just looking over some of the rosters. Harrisburg, wow.
50 kids.
Yeah, on just the midget program.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somewhere close to 50 kids just in the midgets alone. That shows a great influx because, 2 years ago, they were really struggling.
Definitely, and due to both leagues, combining into one, really got to that first year, it's like I think everybody's even more excited.
Yeah.
Especially at the top level. Harrisburg Packers,
Yep.
the Broncos, Holding Jets.
Yep.
Teams like that. I think it's just the excitement that more kids want to come out.
Yeah.
Basically play against the best of the best.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Who wouldn't want to play against guys that you're going to see even later on in your career? Right now, you might be playing with them on the same team.
Yeah.
But here down the road, some of these kids who might play at Holy Name or Lingelstown or I should say Central Dauphin now since Lingelstown changed the name to Central Dauphin Colts. These guys might be going to McDevitt, Central Dauphin, East, all those schools. And it's just great to see that mix that comes together, to really create this conference. But I think what we saw, because we get involved with it a lot, is how well this conference is run. The amount of time and effort the coaches put in, the reps put in, all the way up to the board members. The president, Joe, how much time does he put in on the website and all that other kind of stuff to get the most and really publicize these kids?
Yeah, and I've seen that firsthand, Joe, the website. What I mean? So, but I think it's been a great effort by everybody involved.
Yeah.
Maybe some rough spots here and there, but for the most part, to get all these teams together, and not only was the regular season great, great playoffs, great championship day, and great All-Star games and Senior Bowl games.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's when I talk to other people outside of this area, like in the Philly area of Pittsburgh, I tell them we have a big 30-team league.
Yeah.
And we have the Turnpike Classic. We'll be talking about that. And like you said, we see most of these kids all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a good stepping stone to the high school level. I think all 3 divisions are pretty much evenly matched. I think teams are where they're supposed to be at, and it's going to be an exciting start to this weekend. To the season this weekend.
Yeah, I think exactly. You look at some of the stuff and some of the teams, and some of the teams that maybe have been down, for a year or two, maybe fell off the pedestal of being the champion and stuff. They now have that chance to come back, and that's what's so fun about this youth sports around here. Now you could say, hey, if you win this conference and you win this league, that you are the best team around. It's not like, hey, we have another league over here. Yeah. So, you won in this league, but you're not as good as this league. You don't have anyone. This is the best of the best from the central Pennsylvania area. There's even a team from York. You got Big Springs in it, teams like that. You got these teams that are now coming in, and I guarantee you, you're going to look over the next couple of years, you're going to have more influx of teams if they allow it to grow. You got to cap it somewhere probably, but just if they let it grow. How big it could be, because everybody's going to want to be involved in this thing.
No doubt about it. It's definitely one of the most competitive leagues in the state.
Hands down.
It might be the most competitive league in the state. Like I said, at all levels. Like I said, the talent and the competition is pretty much even out. So you even had, you got a squad like the Harrisburg Broncos. They lost that championship against Lingelstown.
I going undefeated all season.
Right.
And it was just you look at that and you look at Lingelstown, great team. I've had it. Their coach over there at the midget level, Mr. Dennison, awesome job he does.
Yeah.
Getting those kids fired up, getting those kids ready to compete. He won at the Keystone level the year before when they were still the 2 leagues, and then he comes in the first year and he takes that team back, and they win at that level. And a lot of people I thought the Broncos pretty much were unbeatable at that. and he went in there and proved, hey, listen, this is the game plan he put together and did a nice job. But I think just the atmosphere. I mean, you were there, I was there. That weekend was unbelievable. The show that they put on and the stuff that they do for the parents, the kids, everything. I mean, that is unbelievable. I mean, that's Super Bowl. There's no, I mean, the high school programs don't even do what these guys do really a lot of times. And then you look at even getting into the following weekend when, like you said, the Turnpike Classic, the All-Star Game, just the amount of awards that they hand out to these kids and what they do for the kids of this area, you know, it's just amazing. And you got to, you know, tip your hats to these guys because that's what it's all about. They're trying to promote the youth athletics. They're trying to do it in the correct way. They're trying to do it right. And that's what, you know, that's why we wanted to add this segment in because, you know, it's something that a lot of people don't understand in this area. Everybody's so focused on that high school, which deservedly so. But we wanted to get out there and really kick off and say, you know, there is a youth league out there. You guys who aren't playing, you know, you high school kids who have played in this league, get back out there and see some of the old, you know, some of your old teams, some of your old coaches. See how they play, man. Because I'm telling you what, this league is pretty exciting. When I was at that Super Bowl, I know you were there, that championship game, that Harrisburg-Lincolnstown game. I mean, you had guys from Harrisburg, the Cougars on the sideline, the Harrisburg Broncos, and you had kids from Central Dolphins standing on the Lincolnstown sideline. You know what I mean? Some guys, you know, past players and stuff. And it's just great to see that they come back and do that.
Yeah, and it's good to see, you know, where it usually all starts at.
Yeah.
Most of these high school kids from around here, for the most part, are playing youth league football around here. So, and actually, sometimes it's more fun to watch these games, you know, so you know, for more reasons than one. But you know, it's kind of cool to see the kids, you know, getting at it. And you know, going back to the championship games last year, Susquehanna Township midget team. I mean, a lot of their kids are getting some, a good amount of playing time on the varsity level. You know, we get into that later, but I mean, like I said, it's a top-notch league and organization, and I think it's a wonderful thing that the CFA does. You know, we reward the kids. You know, we do sacrifice their time, put in the hard work, just like a high school kids. Go to practice 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah. You know, and play the games as well. Some playing 2 games, to playing JV and varsity. So, you know, I'm excited, and I'm sure we're going to definitely get out to some games this weekend. Yeah, I think we can go over tons of matchups. You know, I could sit here all day long and put a 5-hour video together on all the teams that we want to go see. But just to break it down here real briefly, you're talking about the opening weekend. This sets the tone. Now, it doesn't mean just because you lose that all of a sudden your season's done. No, but this will set the tone for a lot of these teams to get them going, get them in the right direction. One of the things I think I'm noticing more and more is injuries. If a team can stay injury-free, they have a great chance of running the table, not just running the table and winning every game, but running the table and winning a championship. Because all it takes sometimes is one injury, and that team can really be hurt, especially to a key player or a key position. Yeah, especially on the offensive side. Especially if you have like a stud running back or quarterback. I mean, it's a team sport, but let's be real. At the youth level, you lose a star player here or there. Yeah, it could be. It could really go quickly. Very, very quickly. That's at all levels. So. Yeah, and it's just great to see. But some of the big games coming up. You got Holy Name versus the Packers, like we talked about. Holy Name. I really think this could be a resurgent year for them at the midget level. They've been off the last 2 years, haven't won after winning what I think was like 10 or 11 in a row, 10 out of 11 years or something. And an unbelievable run that they had. They've been off the last 2 years, but I think this team. Because a lot of these kids that won the pony level last year, Holy Name winning the pony championship, are now moved up. And I think they're going to bring that championship mentality to the midget level. Even though they might be 7th graders, I think they're going to bring that out. You got Swadera at the Central Dolphin Colts, the reigning champions. Even though you were Lincolnstown last year, this year they're Central Dolphin. But there it is. There's a Sunday game. You got the Broncos, who played in the championship, go against the Paxton team. And I know Paxton had been down in years past, but Paxton always is going to fight. They're always going to give you everything they got each and every time, so you got to become ready to play. It's just not going to be a walk in the park. You got the Cumberland Valley Eagles, who have always had year in and year out, probably one of the steady programs out there. They're always up in the echelon, ready to compete, ready to win a title. So they're not definitely going to be run over. That's actually a Saturday night game, which is great. That's over at Red Land. That atmosphere is awesome. That atmosphere over Red Land is unbelievable, under those lights and stuff like that on Saturday. How can you beat it as a kid? As a young kid. It's only a Saturday night game, right? Yep, that's the only main Saturday night game, I think, in the upper
upper league. I think there's one other one that's played, and that's Big Springs in Northern. They're also playing Saturday night, which is in the Northern has always been good. And Big Springs, like I said, they moved up. They came into the conference looking to make some noise, looking to set their foot and get it all ready. And I think that's going to be definitely a great game. And then you got your two further away in the upper conference. You got Carlisle and playing at York. So, York definitely always has their squads. And I think Carlisle, a couple years ago, they were right at the top.
They were.
You know what I mean? They were right there, ready to win at the pony level. I think if they stick together and that team stuck together, they have a nice shot this year. You know what I mean? I know they lost some pretty good players that have moved on up to the Carlisle High School team. But I think, this program is starting to turn the corner, that Carlisle High School program. I think they got good parents involved. I know some of them. I know they got some good stuff in place, and it starts down at that youth level. That's why you continually Central Dauphin, McDevitt, Harrisburg, coming back. These teams that do well at the high school level, it's because of this feeder program. You know what I mean? These guys are feeding them in, these great athletes that are coming up. They're taught how to do things, and I think that's a key, and it's a compliment to this organization.
Yep, and to the coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've seen coaching staffs for different youth teams. I'll just leave it at that.
we can definitely leave it there. But these guys get out there, and we're going to be talking about different games throughout the year.
Yep.
We also want your feedback. I mean, this is one of the big things. You guys have something. I want you guys to send in stuff to us. Little short write-ups to my email address, which is E as in Edward, X as in X-ray, S as in Sam, P as in Paul at Verizon.net. So we can get your stuff out there. We can talk about it. Hey, if Johnny Smith had 3 touchdowns in the game or whatever. We want to promote these kids, We're not going to sit here and get everybody on, but we want to get as much information out as possible so you guys can understand, hey, these guys care about us. And it's all on the CFA Illustrated website.
Yeah.
So it's not on the main website, it's on the CFA Illustrated.
And, speaking of the website, we'll have the address.
Yeah, so we'll put that all up here at the end of the clip here. So you guys have that, so you guys know what's going on, where to go, but follow it. All right, we're going to do one every week, just to recap, get you guys to understand what's going on. But this is just the beginning of it. And this week kicks it all off. I know it's a week before the high school kids, so it's perfect for everybody to get out there, get your mojo going, before the high school season starts and the college season gets underway. This is what it's all about, getting these kids, get out there and support them.
And, I'll be out there at the video camera as usual, so, I'll let you guys know in advance where I'll be at. So make sure you bring your A game, and we'll probably have a CFA Illustrated Twitter starting probably this week. So it'll be at CFA Illustrated most likely, but check back for that.
Definitely, we just want to promote this league. I think it's a great league, great organization. The people who run it, nothing but fantastic. But now getting to the high school level, as our other section we're going to get into. I know you got out to a bunch of games this weekend. I know it's only the first scrimmage. And you can't always tell as much with that because not everybody shows everything. But still, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I was able to get out to the Harrisburg, Susquehanna Township scrimmage this Saturday. For the most part, it's pretty much a defensive battle. They both ended up scoring a field goal each. Harrisburg, I don't want to say his name wrong, Mikhail Carter, is the first-year starter at quarterback. He showed some scrambling ability. It didn't really pass too much. Rob Martin, Rutgers commit, running back for Harrisburg, had about 5 or 6 carries. Nice little 10, 9-yard, carries here and there. Showed a lot of physicality. Ran over a couple people. He hit the hole pretty, faster than he did last year. So it was like a little glimpse of him. Daquan Ware is able to get an interception. From Hannah's side of the ball, A.K.A. Turner, safety, currently doesn't have an offer, but when it comes to putting the pads on and making big hits, he's that guy. And I thought he had a strong showing. Their whole secondary had a pretty good, strong showing. And there's a couple of those skirmishes here and there as well. But but it's hand in hand. Susquehanna Township and Harrisburg, they've been seeing each other, throughout this whole preseason. 7-on-7s here and there, and they all know each other. So it was pretty lively scrimmage. I really didn't take too much from it. Susquehanna Township's in the middle of having a quarterback competition. Yeah. I think it's really probably between Malachi Simpson and Trayvon Bowers. It's a 4-man competition, but it's probably between those two. So it'll be interesting to see. Cumberland Valley will come over to Susquehanna Township this Friday. So, Joe Heaton got some decisions to make. I think he's going to play one of these young quarterbacks. And I think, they'll probably have enough. I don't want to say just to get by, but I think they'll have enough. And you probably won't really see where they're at until they face McDevitt week 5. So, and with Harrisburg, I think they didn't really show that much offensively. He ran a couple of dive plays and, passed it here and there. But, you won't see anything really until that first week against McDevitt. They have a scrimmage this Saturday, but, I just can't see them playing a whole bunch of kids against, whoever they're playing this Saturday. I can't remember right now. On top of that, I actually went to the Trinity Dallastown scrimmage on Saturday night as well. What I got from there is that Trinity, it's a mid-pen team. So Dallastown actually did control the line of scrimmage, the read option for the first half of the scrimmage, but Logan McNally from Trinity returned an interception for a touchdown. It kind of turned the tide, or I guess in the scrimmage, turned the momentum to Trinity. And Brandon Kuntz, 6'5", 200-pound athlete, safety and wide receiver. He caught several passes, including 2 touchdown passes in the red zone and an interception as well. So that's definitely one kid to look out for. Brandon Kuntz on the statewide level. I think he's underrated. Yeah. But he's big, tall, and fast. He's definitely an athlete, so you'll be hearing a lot from him. Now on the statewide level, I got to watch a couple other scrimmages. 2 kids that stood out to me from Imhotep. DJ Moore, wide receiver, had 2 touchdown catches against St. Joe's Prep. And a running back you guys are probably going to hear a lot from, Nasir Bonner. He's currently a junior this year, has offers from West Virginia and a couple other schools, but he's only a junior this year. But when I say the kid is smooth, the kid is smooth. And he has a nice burst. He can get up the field real fast. And he had 1 long touchdown run and a couple other runs too that were pretty impressive. And just one more scrimmage, I got to take a chance to look at Cardinal O'Hara out of the Philly Catholic League, 318. If there's any year that somebody might beat Wood from that Catholic League, this might be the year. And it might be Cardinal O'Hara. They have a whole lot of weapons on offense. Deshaun Darden, quarterback, has been starting for 3 years. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the Philly area, period, regardless of his size. I mean, that's not going him at the college level. But, we're talking high school. Yep. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the state. Yep. He's a general. He looks sharp on Saturday. He has Dad Smith, athlete wide receiver, as a target. He had a long catch. The most impressive player from that scrimmage was a running back named J.T. Blyden. You won't hear a lot about him. He's a 6 foot, 200-pound running back. Had 4 touchdowns on the day.
Oh, wow.
2 long runs, a touchdown catch, and another short run. So Cardinal O'Hara is going to be a contender on the statewide level, not just in the Philly area, but I think the expectations that are probably being put on them are well deserved because they have a whole lot of weaponry on the offensive side of the ball. So they might give Archbishop Wood, not even might, they should give them a good game, but that's why they play the games on the field. But they looked pretty impressive at the scrimmage on Saturday. So
yeah, that's awesome. And it's all coming together. Mm-hmm. These kids have been working now all off season, getting themselves prepared. They started up, I guess, 3 days earlier than normal with the heat. Heat program that they started up, the PIAA. And now, you're getting ready for this next week, and then the next scrimmage. One team I think people have got to look out for, especially in the central Pennsylvania area, that went under the radar last year, didn't do as well as they should have, didn't finish, I should say, as strong as they should have, is Camp Hill. I've had the fortunate to work with those guys and see them, and they got some offensive weapons that could cause problems across the board. I don't care if you're a AAA team, a AA team. The only thing they don't have is tons of numbers, even though they have a pretty good turnout this year. I was told about 34 kids came out for the program. Now I know it's JV and varsity, but for Camp Hill, that's great. Considering last year, I think they had 25.
Yeah.
So, it's a huge number. They at least have a little bit of depth some places. And one guy you definitely got to look out for is, I know some people know him out there, some people will get to know him real quickly, is Bill Williams, running back, only a 9th grader. I know people in the CFA we just talked about it know him very, very well. Definitely tore that league up there. But first carry from scrimmaging is in the scrimmage this past Saturday, 70-yard touchdown run. You know, broke a couple tackles and gone. His very next one was like a 50-yard run. So there it is, two carries, 120 yards, some crazy numbers. This kid, I think, if he stays healthy and does what he needs to do, could definitely be a special kid in this area. Not going to be the tallest kid, but definitely well put together. Doesn't mind contact. He's not one of those guys that's going to run away from contact. He's definitely going to run people over. But not only having him, they have other weapons. You know what I mean? They definitely have Schuster, quarterback. I mean, he has a year under his belt. Yeah, very, very big fan of his. Have a year under his belt. You know, everybody talks about, well, he had 19 interceptions last year. Forget about what happened. He got thrown into the mix last year, was young, inexperienced, still did some great things, but heck, you're going to do some bad things, you know, when you're a freshman trying to learn the ropes and everything like that. This year, much more mature, worked on his game, really worked on his fundamentals to get himself. He's not slow of foot either. I mean, even though he is a little bit taller, he definitely has some decent footwork out there. And I think that's a team that I think people have to look out for. Because I think if they get into those playoffs, just remember with single A, sometimes you can bump in with 5 wins and you can make that noise. I think they're going to do some damage in the playoffs, just with the weapons they have on offense.
Yeah, but I think they get more than 5 wins too.
Yeah, I have to totally agree there. I think they might even shock a couple AAA teams. I know they're on their schedule because they're in the league, maybe some double A. You know, I think they may be underestimating from the year before. It's just how well that defense comes together. And they played well. They had a try scrimmage this past weekend, I think, with York Suburban, York Votech and Halifax. And they look good. Now, York Votech, I think, is a triple or quad A school. Halifax is a single A. So we'll see how it goes. You know, opening week, I know they have Upper Dolphin opening week at their place, which should be real exciting. Their meat of their schedule usually comes in the second half when they start playing more of their conference schedule with the East Penns, the Trinities, and teams like that. Well, they'll start getting into seeing how good they really are.
Yeah, especially matchup was still out too.
Oh yeah.
You know, it might be the first of 2 games.
Yeah.
Go the way they, most likely should go.
Yeah. But I mean, I think for all you sports fans out there, all you football fans, not just at high school level, get out and support these youth. I'm telling you, these guys are the future that are coming up. There's going to be some good games out there. There's going to be some good players that you're going to see playing at this level. So you get the chance, go on their main website, which is football-cfa.org. So you guys can see the schedule, get out to the games. They tell you how to get to the fields. They tell you who's at home, all that good kind of stuff. It's going to be exciting this year. I think, we've always talked about it's exciting. I mean, you're always going to have McDevitt. I think that conference is going to be loaded with Cedar Cliff. You're going to have some great athletes, but you're going to have some great teams that are definitely going to come together and compete.
No doubt. And, speaking of that Keystone division, top to bottom, it's probably the toughest.
Definitely.
In fact, it is the toughest.
Yeah,
no
question.
I don't think it's going to be too many easy games, especially at the top. Cedar Cliff, Lower Dolphin is going to play people tough.
Yep.
Devin is always. Susquehanna Township, they have 4 games, right? And, Township has 4 games, to get into the mix before they even had to play McDevitt. I think their games are over at the Hannah.
Yeah.
So Mechanicsburg, they have some weapons on offense. Joey Hobbs on defense. I think they're looking to prove themselves as well.
Yeah.
Nobody's really mentioning them, and they know that.
Yeah. They can sneak up in that league, just like Lower Dolphin did last year. Nobody even said a word about Lower Dolphin. Look where they came out of them. I mean, they gave Susquehanna fits. Played McDevitt tough. McDevitt's definitely much deeper and stuff. They played them tough. Nobody thought anything about them last year, and they just snuck up. And that's sometimes the best position to be in. Nobody knows about you. Nobody's talking about you. Cool. I'll sneak up right here on everybody. But I think I'm excited about it. I'm excited to really follow this youth football. I know you're a big high school guy. You really like to get out there. I know you like to get out to see any kind of football.
Yeah.
But I know you like that high school football. I really am intrigued by the youth, getting out there and getting at it, because they put in so much time. They don't get the press. They don't get the coverage. They do it. Some of these teams play 5 days a week. They've already been practicing 2-3 weeks earlier than the high school kids.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a great year for Central Pennsylvania football. I mean, not just the big name guys that we know where they're going, the Trey Clarks, Rob Martins, Andrew Fords, but just in general. Just
a lot of great players around.
Just great teams too.
Yep.
I mean, every year in and year out, everybody says, McDevitt. They have a phenomenal line. I mean, their whole line's back.
Yeah.
How can you take that? I mean, their front 7 on defense might be some of the best front 7 they had in a long time. You know, the quarterback position is going to be always a question mark. But if any indications after that first scrimmage of how he did,
yeah,
they're set. You know, they're set.
Uh-huh.
You know, you still got your Tyrone Gibson, your running back core.
Kobe
you know,
White.
Kobe's phenomenal, but the running back core,
100%.
they're loaded. So I think this is the year, you know, where you're going to look at it and you're like, wow, okay, is McDevitt going to win that state title? You know, that one that's eluded them for so many times now. And they have a lot of pieces in place, and they can do it. They just got to stay healthy. I mean, just like anybody out there, one loss here and there could change a whole season. But if they stay healthy, you could be looking at a state title winner right here in the Central Pennsylvania area.
Yep, and you know, it's only the first game of the year, but you know, the Harrisburg game, I think that's going to set the tone.
Yeah,
and then,
playing at McDevitt's new stadium.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean,
it's the best game of the week.
No question. No question. That's usually the best game anytime. It doesn't matter what the teams are. It's going to be a little different now.
Yeah.
Not walking down Market Street anymore for the game, but that happens. But you know, you guys, we just want to keep you guys informed as much as we can, especially you young level kids. You know, your coaches, get on them. Even if you guys want to send the information to me, hey, say, I had 3 touchdown passes today, whatever, get the information to me. We'll mention it. We'll put a little thing together and we'll get it out there so we can promote you guys and stuff like that. You know, we'll follow up. We're going to keep tabs on all this kind of stuff. We're going to shoot it out. I think it's going to go out every Thursday before everything goes out, you know, before the CFA games, before the high school games. And just follow us. Follow us. I know you're all about Twitter. I know you're always tweeting out there. Me is a little bit more difficult, but you're good at that.
I'll mention this too. You'll probably see all this footage and articles on preps.com.
Yep.
That's a new high school site. It's kind of PA swag on steroids, but it's, you know, preps.com. It's speaking of PA swag. I guess not to get into it too much, but we'll be starting a football academy.
Yep.
And this upcoming January, the Pennsylvania Elite Football.
For youth, yeah.
For the youth.
6 to 8.
For starters.
Yep.
Grades 6 to 8, so let's keep that in mind. But, you know, as he was mentioning, you can catch, you know, the articles and video clips and this show on preps.com. You can follow me on Twitter at JoeCleezy1. That's at... What's that sign?
I don't know. It's the ad sign.
It's the ad sign, JoeCleezy1. Or catch me on preps.com as well. I'm on Instagram too at JoeCleezy3000. And if you want to email me, you know, video clips, or you want to send me the information as well, you can send it to paswag707@gmail.com. And like I said, this is for you guys out there. We just want to promote the kids like, you know, we have been. You know, give them their shine, give them their recognition that they deserve for the hard work they put in. So don't be shy. If you want to talk about your player, talk about your kid, talk about your friend's kid, we don't care.
Yep.
You know, just send us the information. We'll gladly put it out there for you.
Yeah, and we'll get out as much information as we can in the time slot that we have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely get it out. I mean, I gave you my email address, exsp@verizon.net. You can also follow me on Twitter, Brixius, Brixius. So you can do that. And just get out there, guys. I mean, we'll do whatever we can to help promote you. Definitely promote this league, promote the Central Pennsylvania area. That's what we want to do. We want to help the kids shine, give them something to talk about, and you guys have something to give to us, give it to us. All right, we're all about it. Just like Joe said, we'll be starting up that academy in January, so definitely be looking for that. And you guys have anything you guys want to promote, send it to us as well, and we'll get it out there for you guys. All right, so my name is Dave. We're signing off for the first edition here, and this is my main man, Ed, other known as Joe Cleezy.
And just remember, this is the program, the original. No duplicates here. This is the program, and let's check us out every week, every Thursday.
You got it.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing all your info that you guys send to us.